You seem bothered by something.
How did we get here?
A CDMP TV and film presentation from Crazy D, the mind who brings you the Black Ice Chronicles, the Females DVD, and Situations DVD, brings you The Shifter. It's Halloween night at Crazy D's, and a pesky vamp is out for blood. Beware of the Shifter.
That's it. You gotta go beat it damn scram, man. Damn.
Why don't you be a doll and find me a place to change? I need a place to change my clothes before I go.
What? Don't try to hold me on the phone.
D! You been holding out on me?
I was just about to stop and help. You know I helped the crackheads, D.
Some people just don't have originality with their outfits.
It's like I hear voices in my head talking to me and shit.
I saw that punk-ass Charles Pippen and his cousin leaving here.
I learned the grace pose. Get your camera ready.
We're here, like we said, for trick or treat.
Crazy, what did you see? You seem bothered by something.
You see that shit?
Hey, that crazy fuck in there.
Oh, what the fuck that was for? Right.
Shit.
Can't stand that shit.
Well, who's the pit bitch?
Like, I
what
don't
the fuck? What the fuck was she need all hoes? I saw her to scratch that, poke that bitch out.
Beware of the Shifter. Be at the premiere if you dare.
Are you gonna listen to the move?
I've been out the loop since '09.
Yeah, I'll be back to get at that though. Check this. I'm at the motherfucking house last night. Guess what the fuck I see?
What you see?
Shamika, what's up?
Fuck you think you fucking with? It's Maxwell, bitch.
Fuck you in them shoes.
Bitch, I'm about to stalk you with these shoes.
I thought I told you to get a jump to Crazy D.
I did give it to Crazy D. You know, D, you must have seen money in that. You know, he used to produce those nudie DVDs.
Fuck you, thin man. I know you did it.
Don't let your mouth write a check, cause I will take it out on your ass. Damn, man. Is you serious?
I don't appreciate being roughed up by men. Or should I say, male bitches.
Yeah, you don't work out.
And we look for young ladies like you to host them.
I look like somebody that can host your videos.
That's right. So go change, cause we ain't got all day.
Get off the her.
Pretty good, though. What's all that bullshit?
Crazy. What the hell? How you in my room?
At the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land-grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Not only that, they provided county agents to further their expertise in farming. Not only that, they provided low interest rates in order that they could mechanize their farms. Not only that, today many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps.
alcoholic refreshment. Community, heart,
What's going on, people? What's going on, people? Welcome to another great episode of Hashtag Observations TFR by Crazy D with my special guest host, my sister Tonya M. Congress. Let's check out everything. Let's see how everything sounds. How is your morning so far?
Good morning, listening audience. My morning was pretty productive. I got up and rearranged some things in my kitchen this morning, and I was up fairly early. I was up by about a little bit before 9 o'clock, so I was able to just take my time and get ready instead of, rushing, flying by the seat of my pants. Subtitle: A Glutton for Punishment. That's an inside joke of me and my brother. It's something my father said some years ago. My father was a hilarious man. Trust me, let me tell you. He say some stuff you wouldn't expect him to say out of the blue. And it was his take, his visual take or insight on things. And it was a lot of comedy. Believe that. So today, I had breakfast this morning. What I had was, I had some old-fashioned grits. So, old-fashioned grits, the ones that take 20 minutes to cook instead of 5 minutes. There is a difference in the taste. It's a difference in the taste, whether you believe that or not. And it's a difference in the taste. So I had a spoonful of those. I had some eggs with some tomato, scrambled eggs with tomato, onion, and spinach. And I had, what else did I have? Oh, that was it, because I didn't want to have too many carbs. So this morning for my morning snack, I have a cut gala apple and some ginger in the small part of the bowl. Also, in my coffee cup, I don't have coffee. I have a mixture of hibiscus flower, horsetail powder, coriander seed, and hawthorn berries. And then I also have my barley water. And so I'm ready to go this morning. How you doing this morning?
I am doing as well as can be expected under the circumstances that we are in. Listen, people, I have my ginger tea, fresh cut ginger, boiled by my lovely wife in the morning with just a touch of honey. And of course, I've got my oatmeal with mixed vegetables, and I have grapes in it today. Just hand it to me. Beautiful consistency. Last time I tried grits, it was about it's got to be about 15 years ago now. Last time I tried it, because I've been eating oatmeal, and last time I tried that, that white grain clogged me up so bad. I was like, never again. And we used to be grit eaters, grits with some, it used to be bacon, but then we turned it into turkey bacon and crumble the bacon up into grits with some butter, spin it around, and that would be so good. But
I forgot. That's what I did. I had some plant-based. I'm sorry. That's what I did. I had some plant-based bacon, and I did crumble that plant-based bacon up in the grits.
Right. And it makes it such a great taste. It's just a little, if you don't put salt in grits and you let the bacon be just the dash of salt in it, right? It's excellent, right? We're going to have to start. We're going to have to do a week of food shows where we show the food and everything off. That'd be good. Maybe do some pre-shooting and show some prefab shooting and come in with our commentary. We can do that around here at Lordlandfilms.com. Okay, people. First and foremost, let me say what's up, shouts out, drops outs to all of the people watching us on Periscope, Vimeo, FB, and the Film Review Live channel on YouTube. Go to the Film Review Live channel, smash subscribe, like this video, share this video, tag your people in all the various platforms that we're on, friend, like, follow us on all the platforms that we are on, because today, just like every other day, but especially today, we are bringing some invaluable information, this time like we've been doing for the last couple of days, for the music enthusiast, right? Every show is always different. You're never gonna see us stuck on that wheel, in that rut. We're always moving forward, and today is no different. Smash the share button, smash the like button. What is the topic for today? Disagreeable people. Disagreeable people. The Disagreeable People, Part 3, Possibilities and Probabilities, hashtag observations, episode 46. We're on episode 46. Can you believe it? The disagreeable can assist in dismantling the mechanism in an organization which brings about forward progress. What's to be said for the disagreeable bandmate when those around are disagreeable people? It's hard to support quote unquote independence when they most times don't know the formula to make a hit record, the business of charting a record, copywriting, publishing, distribution, and the most important part, after you have all of that organized, the most important part of the business, marketing and promotion of the said product, so the masses can hear it. Just staying around home base is a no-no. Let's discuss. The phone lines are open. 213-943-3358. 213-943-3358. So let's start with some memes to warm this floor up just a little bit. Okay, let's start with this meme. I saw this meme a couple of days ago. It was placed in place by one of our neighborhood, the old neighborhood friends, James Foreman. It's officially, once I'm home, I'm not going out again season. It's official, quote unquote. Once I'm home, I'm not going out again season. It's that time of season. I remember when we were just wee pups, it wouldn't matter if it was snowing, raining, a monsoon, you would be out there. But as you get into a certain age group, you begin to settle that puppy down. Here we go. Mother Nature's flu shot. This is also coming into flu season. And besides the tea with the ginger root in it, these are also some helpful flu shots. You put this in tea, you take it in its natural form, not prefabricated into a pill, I would suggest. But again, this is just our opinions and observations. We are not medical professionals, but we're just going from experience. What do you got to say about that real quick?
Those are very good things. Like cayenne pepper is a regular part of my diet. Ginger root, regular part of my diet. Echinacea, I have picked back up since you guys reminded me of it. I picked echinacea back up. I've never had stinging nettle, but I'm going to try it. And golden seal had been a regular part of my diet, as well as that I took it with the echinacea. I took it in a pill form years ago. There's caution regarding golden seal. So you're supposed to only take that like 3 weeks on, 2 weeks off. So, just be mindful when using golden seal, okay? Because it has, it can work in the adverse if it's taken too much. And cat's claw, I just wrote that down. The cat's claw and the stinging nettle is something I have to look into.
Cayenne. But anyway, that's a reggae record. I don't know if people remember that. But anyway, okay, people. All of this that we're setting up is great for the person. If you have a person that is in the music business or wants to be in the music business, smash this, share this, tag them in this. This is invaluable information. The first 2 slides we just gave are very important. You're out there, you're still trying to perform. You need to have your immune system up during these years of COVID. And always remember, poverty is man-made. It's not natural. Poverty is man-made. It is not natural. You have to remember, you have to keep your mind solid and understand, have that understanding, middle standing, and overstanding that it is not that it is something that is fictitious, but oh, does it still sting. All right, so now let's go right here. This meme came up, and it's also part of our ad for episode 46. And it's from an MC who also graduated with his degree. And he's not only an MC, but he's a producer. But he just graduated last year, or maybe a year and a half ago, with his engineering degree in music. So this is, I believe it's a t-shirt from what I can see, because someone's wearing it, and they're wearing a medallion, a stone to cut off, I believe, the 5G, if I'm not mistaken about that. But you're not supposed to be able to notice that, but that's looks like one of those stones. But anyway, support independent, self-funded businesses, musicians, bands, instructors, writers, photographers, designers, recording studios, artists. Attend shows, buy albums, buy merch, schedule recording time, take music lessons, buy homemade art, purchase photographs, read unpublished writing, tell friends, spread the word. Before we go any further, what would you like to say about that?
That's a wonderful shirt. That's wonderful. We do need to support one another's art. That way, the industries that our arts are lent to can't pimp us anymore. But what I noticed this a lot, is that particularly in marketing and promoting music, that a lot of times people will, when they're promoting their own stuff, they'll bomb your inbox or bomb your timeline with their material. And it's like, okay, I'll check you out. And so the whole thing is to check them out and then go make a purchase. I mean, what are you talking about on a single? You're talking about 99 cents. On an EP, you're talking about maybe $7.99, $8.99. And on a full album, you're doing about, some full albums go for $9.99 on on the Apple Music and all of that. So go and support the people. You're gonna blow that just doing something stupid with the money, buying something, buying some McDonald's that you don't need. You can spend that $9.99 on that person's material. Support them. Support them. That way they don't have to feel that they need to be signed by a label and get pimped. But what I notice is those same people that will post on your timeline and stuff, you post on theirs, you don't hear any feedback from them. They don't go and listen to it. You know, they don't say a word. So you're just posting it. They're doing their promotion, but they're not honoring your promotion. So we have to do better about that as artists. We have to do better than that.
Okay. All of this, I'm going to call that so-called marketing and promotion, because that does not make a distribution possible. Unfortunately, okay? But when you do things like that, you would hope that you would say it was all a dream, and someone else say that MF spitting. It was all a dream. This MF spitting. Freddy Krueger. But anyway, okay, so let's keep moving, right? And that would mean that would be real dangerous, because that'd be the cuts, right? And then once you go through all of this marketing and promotion, you would hope and pray that one day you would be on someone's top 5. Now, Marcus Webb, in official Black Las Vegas, he said his top 5 MCs are Nas, Pac, Cube, Kendrick, and rounding out the top 5 would be Jay-Z. And someone wrote immediately underneath, listen, dude, no offense, but top 5 without Rakim in it, I'm not even recognizing it. That's what the person said. Right underneath, that's what they said. Okay. Do you have a top 5 MC? Do you have a top 5 MC list? Tonya, do you have a top 5 MC list?
I would say Nas, Pop, Cube, and then I would put Chuck D on there, and I would put let's see. I haven't, even though I know Kendrick Lamar is bad, I only heard him on a few things, so I can't say he would be on my list. And unfortunately, I haven't really paid too much attention to Jay-Z. I do know that people say he is the bomb, but so I would put Chuck D on there, and I would put, let's see, who else would I put on there? I would put Wu-Tang Clan, in particular, Method Man, on there for me.
Okay. That's pretty good. My definitive is Chris, KRS-One, most definitely. Now, where do I put Chris? I put Chris 3. I put Q 1 because he came out and represented the way. First, he was in a group, then he went solo, and he did double duty most of the time when he was in the group, because he wrote for others as well as wrote for himself. So Cube 1, Karis 1 is 3. Rakim is 5 for me. 2 is Jay, and number 4 is going to be That's a hard decision, because there's a lot of new guys, and I gotta give a new guy some shine. And so this is going to flip people's heads, right? But I'm gonna say J. Cole. I'm gonna give J. Cole it. So it's Cube, Ra, KRS-One, J. Cole, and did I say Jay? Oh, I don't remember. But anyway, you know, I'm more into the beat knocking anyway, at the DJs. If we go to the DJs. But anyway, that's my top 5 there. Yeah. Okay. So now, people, you would hope that you would be on a top 5 situation, right? So that one day, people would then want to rate your look, right? Who had the best perm? Now, actually, Cube is not in it because that was a Jerry curl, right? Jerry curls aren't considered perms, are they? But you know, no. Cube is in it because he's such a forerunner there, right? As far as the culture is concerned. But which one of those hip hop 9 wore the perm the best to you?
Snoop. Snoop, at first though, like when he first came out with those perms, I was looking at him like, what's going on? But his perms was tight though. Whoever was putting that chemical in there had that hair straight. It did what a perm was supposed to be. It was supposed to do.
Okay. Besides Iceberg Slim, the person who stands out to me, whose perm was on point to me. Now, honorable mention to Andre 3000, right? Andre 3000's perm in 2003. Can you believe that's been that long ago? 2003, it was a smash. Hey, all right. But the person who really represented to me Iceberg Slim was Ice-T. For those who don't know, Ice-T and Ice Cube got their ice from reading Iceberg Slim. If you don't know who Iceberg Slim is, look up Iceberg Slim real quick. Let's give him just a quick definition of who Iceberg Slim. For those who don't know, Ice Cube and Ice-T got their ice from reading Iceberg Slim. So who's Iceberg Slim?
Basically, Iceberg Slim, born Robert Beck or Robert Lee Maupin Jr., better known as Iceberg Slim, was an American pimp who subsequently became an influential author among a primarily African-American readership. Beck's novels were adapted into movies. Let's see what some of those movies may have been. Let's see.
I know already, but I decided to let you go on ahead and catch the research right
Oh,
there.
wow. Okay, here we go. The Mac with Max Julian and Richard Pryor. By the way, there was a scene in there that when I watched that movie, Sitting Amongst Men, you know, they were all joyous over the scene, and the scene kind of ticked me off. But let me see. The other ones there is documentaries, Slim's Portrait of a Pimp, including Talking Head admirers Chris Rock, Snoop Dogg, Ice-T, Henry Rollins, Quincy Jones. Let's see. And basically, that's the only film they have listed here is, The Mac and His Pack. That was the screenplay.
I think that the Wikipedia is wrong on that. Max Julian wrote The Mac. But, you know, hey, maybe he was inspired. There is a scene in The Mac. And the acting on that between Max Julian and the opposite that happens to be standing on the corner, and she says that she got robbed. He said, I don't give up. Get out there and you better get my money. Right? Because he had just been talking to... Now, the guy that's in the car next to him is an actual pimp, right? Actual pimp. So there was actual pimps in the movie, right? Max Julian, right? But what makes that scene so good is it's her silent reaction. Acting is about what you say verbally, but it's what you say non-verbally with your emoting with your face. And she sells that shock, the shock that she has at the person who was once her friend before she decided to be one of his women. The shock of what he says and how she does it, and how later in the film she has the same exact type of shock on her face. When you have to see the Mac, yeah. So, but anyway, so for me, it's Ice-T. Ice-T wore the perm. So when you're in the business, you want people to do that. Now, Tracy Latrice says, honorable mention to Al Sharpton. That's right. Al Sharpton. Al Sharpton wore that perm. Let me take this down for a minute. Al Sharpton still wears the perm, but when he got stabbed in Bensonhurst, he was wearing that perm. That perm was putting women to shame. That perm, right? Then Tracy Latrice also says her top 5 honorable mentions in hip hop: Jim Jones from Dipset, Scarface from the Ghetto Boys. Okay, yeah, because they both had solo careers. They were good. Okay, now people, as we go on here. But anyway, yes, that's right. You watch this. So, most of your love, most people of a certain age, their love of music started with this right here. Who had this? Right? Everyone in their household had one of these. It really destroyed the texture of the vinyl because people should have kept the jackets on the vinyl. But you know, with the type of turntables it was, you would put it on there on the apparatus and it would drop the vinyl down. So often the vinyl didn't meet cover again until a young, precocious kid would be down in the basement taking alcohol and cleaning up the vinyl and replacing it and putting it back into jackets, placing it back into its jackets. At least that's what happened in my situation. Now, so we got through that. So this is what's up. So let's go through some definitions, right? Let's go through some definitions. Disagreeable. What exactly is disagreeable? Smash the share button, smash the like button as we take you through this. Disagreeable, not pleasant or enjoyable. Secondary, unfriendly and bad-tempered. Disagreeable people are people who are not pleasant or agreeable. Unpleasant people, unwelcomed people. Persona non grata, a person who for some reason is not wanted or welcome. Persona non grata. People. What are people? What is the definition of people? Men, women, and children, used to refer to anyone or informally to the group that one speaks to. Person. What is a person? A being. Now, this is very important, this definition of a person. What is a person? Person. A being that has certain capacities or attributes such as reason, morality, consciousness or self-consciousness, and being a part of a culturally established form of social relations such as kinship, ownership of property, or legal responsibility. You didn't know being a person was so complex, did you? 213-943-3358. A being that has certain capacities or attributes such as being able to reason, having morality, having consciousness or even self-consciousness, and being a part of a culturally established form of social relations such as kinship, ownership of property, or legal responsibility. My question to you is, can you be a person if you do not own anything? Can you be a person in a society if you don't own anything? Smash the share button, like button if you don't own property. You don't own your masters. You don't own the house that you stay in. You don't own the land that your house is sitting on. You don't own anything. You are just... Tonya, can you be a person if you do not own have ownership of property?
By this definition, no. But by most people's definition, yes, because you're a human being. Human being is recognized as being a person, but a person that's being acknowledged as such fits this criteria. And so that begs that, like where it says down here at the bottom, and being a part of a culturally established form of social relations, such as kinship. Kinship to who? Like starting where? Starting where? What constitutes kinship? I mean, we know what kinship is, but kinship to what? And now we're getting into bloodlines, origins, and all of that. Ownership of property or legal responsibility, or your ability to respond to legal precepts, your ability to respond to them. So that's opening up a whole can of worms. And we start peeling back the layer of that onion. That's opening up a whole can of worms of what really constitutes one thing as opposed to the other. But really, in lines of government and in lines of laws and in lines of this, that's where the loopholes are. That's the reason why things have not changed, because where we fall in those loopholes is really telling the story by how the laws are passed, or how the concern for certain laws that are not being passed, how there's no concern there. That's the reason why all of our aforementioned shows, we were saying what we were saying.
Personship. Being a person. Personship. Why things don't move. You have to be kin to something. You have to own something, and you have to have legal responsibility over that which you own within that kinship. You need to go back and watch episodes 1 through 20, 21 through 40. The discussions on Nigeria, those are 2 episodes, and the 2 discussions on Biden and Trump that we done. That's on my Facebook page, Crazy on Dion. I have them divided up so you can go binge listen or binge watch. It's very important. You are not a person unless you belong to a certain bloodline. You are not a person unless you have ownership of property. And you are not a person unless you have legal responsibility. See how this is? And you think, or most of us think we know, but like we said, we're here to open it up. Now, the next definition coming up is support. So, you know, the meme that we showed, it said support independent, self-funded businesses. Now, wait. This is what we want to get to. So this is on the front. That's the front cover of our episode 46. It sounds good. Support independent, self-funded businesses. Let's look at the definition of support and see if the self-funded businesses, it really fits. Okay, verb. Support as a verb. Bear all or part of the weight of, hold up. Support is bear all or part of the weight or hold up, meaning to hold something up. Secondary, give assistance to, especially financially unable to function or act. That's what support is as a verb. Noun, support as a noun. A thing that bears the weight of something or keeps it upright. Secondary, material assistance. So let's stop right there. So let's go back to what we thought sounded real good at first. Support independent, self-funded business. If you are a self-funded business, you don't need support. A noun, a thing that bears the weight of something or keeps it upright. Secondary, material assistance. We have to understand, middle stand, and overstand the words that we say. Once I learned that support was this definition, I stopped saying support. I stopped saying support because support means that they bear all or part of the weight. No one is coming in to bear unless they are going to be your benefactor. And we talked about benefactors yesterday. Okay, synonyms of support. Hold up, bear, carry, prop up, keep up, bolster up, brace, sure up, underpin. Do you know what underpin is? That's like the under chassis. Buttress, reinforce. Another alternative to support is to hold up or add strength to, literally or figuratively. So when people say, are you going to support me, man? No, I'll buy your product, though. I'm going to listen to you buy your product because, you know, I like what you do. I might buy a t-shirt because you got a cool design, but I'm not supporting you unless I'm going to be a sponsor or a benefactor, right? A sponsor or a benefactor. What do you want to say about that before we move on?
That sheds an interesting light on everything because that's the first word we use when we talk about buying a person's product that they have out or whatever. They'll say, I need your support. The candidates for different offices will say, when you're voting, they'll say, we need your support. So it's saying that we need you to hold us up, bear the weight with us. We need your assistance. We need your financial contribution. We need your enablement in order for us to be where we are. And in all actuality, the only thing you're doing is going to push a button and buying a product. So that's not really support. That is being a consumer. You're a consumer, and when you're a consumer, you're consuming what you want. The consumption is based on your desire to have it. It's not as much as it is based on supporting that individual.
This is true indeed. So it's very important that we have an understanding, misunderstanding, and overstanding of what we are saying. The English language. Did people know to be a person, you have to have some kinship, ownership, and legal responsibility to even be recognized as a person? We're going through definitions today. Smash the share button, smash the like button, smash the share button, smash the like button. Go over to Lordlandfilms after it's over, and you can watch us all right there. Everything is there. You can go to your favorite podcast provider by clicking right there, and you can click whichever one and listen to our back episodes to get the understanding, misunderstanding, and overstanding what we're talking about, right? Go to the Film Review Live channel on YouTube, smash subscribe, because we're always bringing information. Part 3, Possibilities and Probabilities. The Disagreeable People. We're getting you to definition. Why are most of the time people disagreeable? Because they don't know the definitions of the words that they are using. They don't know the definition of the words that they are using, and they don't know. And many times they don't even know what you're talking about, because they may be using everyday connotative instead of denotative definition of what it is. Let's keep moving now. Let's keep moving. We're cooking now. We're cooking. A customer can also sometimes be called a patron. A patron or a patron. Not to be mixed up with patronizing, but patronizing. But we have both definitions, so we're going to go through them, right? Patron, a person, especially a man, who sponsors or aids artists, charities, etc. Protector or benefactor. Okay? So you're looking for support. So what you're looking for is a patron, a person, especially a man, and I will add we will add women too, because women can be benefactors. Just ask anyway, we won't go in there. We won't go there. Just ask Tim Reed. Just ask Tim Reed. But anyway, that's another story for another time. Patron, a person, especially a man, who supports or aids artists, charities, etc. Protector or benefactor. Okay. In commerce, a patron is a customer of a shop, hotel, etc., especially a regular customer, right? Secondary, the owner or manager of an establishment, especially a restaurant or a inn of French or Spanish origin. So a patron, he was my patron. He allowed me to stay in his restaurant. He allowed me to stay in his hotel. Patronize. Patronize, though spelled the same, is patronize. Patronize and patronize. Though patronize is spelled the same as patronize, patronize is what you get when you have a patron. Patronize, treat in a way that is apparently kind or helpful, but that betrays a feeling of superiority. To patronize. Now, to patronize is secondary. Frequent a store, theater, restaurant, or other establishment as a customer. Patronizing and patronizing, spelled exactly the same, pronunciation just slightly different. Now, so it says frequent a store, theater, restaurant, or other establishment as a customer. So what is a customer? This is what we're looking at. We have to have the proper language to speak to people. Would you become a customer of my music? Does that sound snappier or faster? Would you become a customer of my music? Customer, a person, organization that buys goods or services from a store or business. Secondary, a person or thing of a specified kind that one has to deal with. Now, customer has a connotative meaning that has hit the dictionary in denotative, and that's what the secondary definition, a person or thing of a specified kind that one has to deal with, meaning that was a customer right there. He's a customer. It's usually a 1930s, 40s term. He was a customer. I didn't like him too much. He was a customer. It's making it more that the person is acting foul, right? But the main definition of customer first, a person organized that buys, or organization that buys goods or services from a store or business. Would you become a customer of my music? Because to be a supporter would mean that you would become a benefactor or a sponsor, and usually sponsors want something in return, especially benefactors, for the money or the time that they spend. Now, there are 5 types of customers. This is very important for people to know. Smash the share button, smash the like button. We are on the road now. We are moving. The 5 types of customers: potential customer, new customer, impulsive customer, discount customer, loyal customer. Secondary or third definition of a patron. A patron, a person who supports with money, gifts, efforts, or endorsement as artist, writer, museum, cause, charity. So in other words, they endorse the artist, writer, museum, cause, charity, institution, special event, or the like. A patron of the arts. So when you say the words, will you support me? What are you actually saying to the people, and do they have a total grasp of what you say? Do you have a grasp of what you're saying? So let's look at this again. It initially looked great. Support independent, self-funded business. Now, wait a minute now. If you're self-funded, you don't necessarily need support. You need a customer base. The independent, self-funded business, musicians, bands, instructors, writers, photographers, designers, recording studios, artists need a customer base. Will you become a customer of my music? Will you buy my music? Because if you support me, that means that you have become my benefactor, and I will owe you something. What do you guys think?
I think a lot of times that's exactly how people are terming that, because you'll hear artists say, I owe it to my fans to do this or that. I owe it to them to be this and that. I owe it a certain amount of concerts. I owe that. So you'll hear that language spoken among artists as well. But this does beckon to that needs to be something that's discussed in contractual agreements and everything because of the meaning, the true meaning of the words, not the adapted meanings of the words.
The adapted meanings of the words. Here we go. Let's keep moving here. Let's keep moving because we are cooking. And you know that the video presentation produced by moi is coming. So you need to, just say Matthew 6, chapter 6, verse 33. But let your first care be for his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these other things will be given to you in addition. Matthew 6:33. But let your first care be for his kingdom and his righteousness, and all of these other things will be given to you in addition. Which means that you have to keep your eyes on the ultimate prize, and everything will open up for you, and you may not need to do certain things to appear to quote unquote make it. What would you like to say to that?
Well, first we must understand what his kingdom is. The kingdom is righteousness, peace, and joy in the Holy Spirit. And if you're into the semantics of things and don't want to say Holy Spirit, basically it's the Spirit of God that dwells in you. So it's righteousness, peace, and joy, the pursuit of righteousness. What is righteousness? Righteousness is right, not only right standing. What is right standing with God? It's not that you went down and walked the aisle and went up and confessed Christ as your Lord and Savior. That may be part of it for some, but righteousness is much bigger than that. Righteousness is having integrity and having character, that letting your yeas be yea and your nays be nay, where when you tell somebody something, you make good on that word. That's righteousness. Not doing dirt to people. That's righteousness. Where it is within your power and in your realm of authority and of your interest to do that which is best for another person within your sphere of influence, you do that. That is righteousness. What is peace? Being a peaceful person, not stirring up strife, not stirring up bad blood between people, not being a gossip, not taking a bone and bringing a bone, is a term my brother used, not just not being messy. That's being peaceful, having peace in your life, staying to yourself and doing your own business, studying to be quiet, studying to do your own business, focusing on your own business. That's peace. And then joy is automatic. It's something that comes from within. It's nothing that is external. It's from within you that you're joyful. You know why? Because if you're living righteously and behaving righteously and you're behaving peacefully, you're automatically going to have joy in your spirit.
Joy in the spirit. Now, is there righteousness in those who would be your benefactor, who have put certain things up and there are strings attached? Part 3, possibilities and probabilities, the disagreeable people. Here we go. If you could go back in time and give yourself a piece of advice, what would it be? What would it be? What would it be for you, Tonya? If you could go back in time and give yourself a piece of advice, what would it be?
What for me it would be. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on one second. Oh, I see. I have two things. I have it up on Facebook and I have it up here on Vimeo. So for me, it would be when people show me who they are, to believe them the first time as Maya Angelou has said, I have often given people credit that had not earned the credit. So I was giving them what was not due them. I was accrediting a certain type of outlook towards them that they had not demonstrated they were worthy of. And I did that with a lot of people in a lot of different type of situations, not just relationships, but in business dealings and stuff like that. I did that too, because I'm always the type of person who sees the glass half full instead of half empty. I'm always the type of person that says it's partly sunny outside instead of partly cloudy. So I'm a person, I'm an optimist, but sometimes things are what they are, and you have to let them be that, and you know that they're not conducive to where your life is and where your life is going. So you have to judge the situations accordingly. So that's what I would tell myself.
See, what I was telling myself was something similar, except for I would tell myself to not try to rationalize with those who are not. Unfortunately, I don't know if it's on the school system, but not to try to rationalize and to get to understanding, middle standing, overstanding with those who have not studied what you have studied. If they're on page 0 and you're already on page 300,000, then they will not have a grasp or a concept of what you are talking about. And so that is what I would tell myself, is not to take time with disagreeable people to try to make them agreeable, right? Now here's one from Larry Smith. He owns G5 Cultivating. I don't ask people for much, so when I do and it's not acknowledged, I hold on to that, and it motivates me to not need people more. So overall, you still helped me. Yeah, I thought that was a
that's
gem.
good.
That's a gem of a meme, because if you try not to help me, I'm still helping myself. Here's another that was written. It was written and photographed and then put up. Here we go. Did you know that some people hate you because somebody lied to them about you? Did you know that some people hate you because some people lied to them about you? And you know what I say to that? Ask me what I say to that.
And what do you say to that?
I say, fuck them all. I mean, fuck them too. You know, if they want to believe what someone said, fuck them too. You know what I mean? Hey, you know what I'm saying? You're not paying my bills, nothing off my back. F you too. You don't like me because someone told you something you didn't come to find out on your own. Then you most likely wasn't someone that I wanted to be around in the first place.
Exactly.
Which means that you had some envy or some jealousy towards me in
already.
The first place to even believe, because people believe what they want to believe. And so I just say, get the finger. Now, anyway, let's keep going. Which brings us to sage advice from one of our now what they call ancestors, but one who has passed on to the other side, Dick Gregory. If you have never read Nigger, you should definitely pick up his book, Nigger. But anyway, before you argue with someone, with someone, ask yourself, is this person mentally mature enough to grasp the concept of different perceptives? Look up the word perceptives. It's very important. Look up perspectives. It's perspectives, but look up perceptives, right? And perspectives, because both of those are words, right? So before you argue with someone, ask yourself, is this person mentally mature enough to grasp the concept of different perspectives. If not, there is no point to argue. So perceptives and perspectives. Both of those are words.
All right. So
okay. All right.
It's an interesting. So it's an interesting contrast between those two words. To be perceptive, and adding an S makes it plural, is responsive to sensory stimuli or being discerning, capable or exhibiting keen perceptions or observance, characterized by sympathetic understanding or insight, or not. You know, Webster said characterized by sympathetic understanding or insight, or not being sympathetic to it. It also will foster that when you discern. Perspective is a mental view or prospect. So it's mental. It's a mental view or prospect, whereas the other one is based on a spiritual. It's a discernment. It's something you know in your gut. It also means a visible scene. It means the interrelation in which a subject or its parts are mentally viewed. It's the capacity to view things in their true relations or relative importance. That's a good one. The capacity to view things in their true relations or relative importance. So both of those words, if you're discerning correctly, if you have a right perception, gives you the capacity to, gives you the right perspective. The right perceptive is the right perspective. So if you're discerning from a spiritual standpoint, then you have the capacity, you have the perspective, you have the capacity to view things in their true relation or relative importance. So some things are not all that important, and some things are. You have the ability to characterize those or prioritize those according to their importance or not.
Exactly, people. So we are building today. We are building that mind state and not that mindset. We're constantly moving forward. Okay. So now, people, which brings us to always the great part of the day. I give myself credit. So often people don't like to give credit because they suffer from some of the things that we have just broken down to you. The lack of understanding, middle standing, overstanding of the words that they use and the words that you are using, and thus they will sit there and nod their head like they know what you're talking about, but they do not know because they have not taken the time to look up definition. To take the time. So why are people disagreeable? Why are people disagreeable? How can they come in and destroy the mechanism in the organization that brings about forward motion? Because of the fact that they're going to be disagreeable because they have not put enough knowledge in their memory bank, and they think everyone is on some kind of hustle. Hussle. Hustle. Not having the ability to hustle, meaning to move and get things done. Hustle. A hustle is like a dance, baby. They're going to hustle you out your drawers if they can. But if you have the ability to have hustle, you're going to get out there and get it, and like-minded people will come along with you to make it happen. And those who are not like-minded most likely have not done the hustle, or don't have the hustle but have been trying to be hustlers, hustling. Hussling, not Hustling. Difference in words. Now, my sister finish talking to you. We finished up yesterday talking about when she came back from the Snap tour, and we talked about the Disagreeable Band-Mate, but in actuality, wasn't it disagreeable people that wanted someone to do something that would be detrimental for them? So now, as we move forward on this, because we are cooking today, we are cooking with speed. JB's monorail. Speed. Break it down. Smooth. JB's monorail. I remember I bought the import for $60 just to rock at the college parties because everybody wanted to hear JB's monorail. But anyway, because I had hustle, HUSTLE, to make sure that people will be able on the dance floor and do their HUSSLE, hustle. JB's monorail. But anyway, okay, people. All right. So now, why did you not? You had to shoe in. The woman was at the university. You have to go back. We're not going to go back and do all that recapping. You go back to the previous 2 episodes to get it. We're going forward. You were at the School of Berkeley. You had built a reputation. They knew that you were about your business. The woman within that particular office, you could fill that in. She said, "All I need is your headshot. That's it." And you didn't even have to audition or nothing because you had proceeded. Your work ethic had preceded you, right? So why did you choose not to go on the Tony tour? And why do you think that it was divine intervention, especially with what we talked about on Monday?
Well, when I got the phone call and she brought them up and she said, well, they're looking for, on this particular tour, they're about to go on tour and they want an all-female background. They want an all-female band they're going to do, and then the 3 guys are going to be out front. I said, oh, okay. So she started explaining it to me. She said, yeah, this is what they're going with. And are you interested? I said, well, yeah, I might be, And then she said, well, I just need you to get your headshot and your bio. That's all you're going to need. In a couple of weeks, they'll fly you out to Oakland for rehearsals, and then it'll get started like that. And so I thought about it for a little while. And I started reflecting back to the prior tour, which we talked about in the previous 2 episodes. I started thinking about the activities of that tour. And I've always been a person who's seen the big picture. Like I would, everything was pieces to a puzzle. And I would assemble that and then come up with an assessment of how I felt things were going to go or how they could possibly go. Now, one thing I recognized about the previous tour is that it was low budget because of the things that were transpiring. It was low budget. Now, this one was definitely going to be a step up. However, the other activities that go along with that are pretty much the same. You have the pressure to perform, which is never going to be a pressure for me, but it's there. That element is there because there are contracts in place. Contracts are basically promises that have been made. Now, you wasn't there when the promises are made, but you are hired. You are a hireling in to this already established contractual agreement. So that means when you come into the scene, you're now part of that contract, and then there's a separate contract that you have to be a part of for your services. And so that means that once you put your name on that dotted line on that level, that you're required to be able to return the goods on the investment that they're making in you. So I got to thinking about how my voice, when I wouldn't be singing on this one unless it was background vocals, but I started thinking about how something being deficient with your person, like, you know, something just being deficient in some way that you couldn't perform with them, with there being an offer of some kind of inducement of a drug that can enable you to continue your performing. If you just take this drug, you know, it's just temporary. You're just doing this for right now. You know, we got to get this show done tonight. We in a rush, you know, and we don't have time to get nobody else. And, you know, just take, you know, pop this pill, you know, shoot this injection, you know, smoke this, drink this, and it'll all be all right. So now what does that, you know, how deep does that rabbit hole go? So for me, I already knew what type of person I was. And people might say, well, you talked yourself out of opportunity. No, I was just being cautious because I knew from that first experience that it wasn't going to go nowhere but down from there. I know that the intricate parts of it, yeah, on the outside, to the outside world, you're on top of the world. You signing autographs, you performing, you playing. Oh, you're living the dream. But behind the scenes, there are other things going on. Besides that, I had the one element on the tour where I was being propositioned. And I don't engage in, first of all, most of the time I'm in a relationship. If I'm not in a relationship and I'm about my business, I choose. You don't pick me off, I choose, right? So you got that element. You got somebody that's coming to your room, and this is a standardized behavior in the industry that women who want to stay on or whatever, they have to lay on their back. Well, my philosophy is however you begin a thing is how you have to maintain it. So I was not going to be agreeable to any of those outside of the contractual agreement terms. I was not going to be agreeable to any of that. And I said, I know how I am. And I could potentially, you know, cause myself to have a bad name because I'm just not all that excited. I'm not impressed. See, my gift is my gift. My gift is God-given. Yes, there are other musicians that may be more accomplished than I am, but my gift is my gift. So how I choose to let my gift be used, or how I choose to be compensated for my gift, and what I choose that I'm going to go along with in the implementation of my gift is on me. And I have never been the type of person that's going to give somebody else the upper advantage over me as far as something like that. In the use of my gift, really? My gift is just as important as the people that I'm using my gift with. Even if you got 1,000 other people to choose from, you got me right now. So you got me right now, and along with me comes some standards. Along with me comes some things that I'm not going to agree with. Along with me is going to come some things where the rubber is going to meet the road, and I'm going to say, no, I'm not doing that. So I had asked the young lady from the office some other questions. I had asked her, I said, well, how long is the tour going to be? Because remember, I was dropped from the other one when we were supposed to go back out. So that was a bit of a disappointment. And so she told me, well, it's going to be 3 months. And their Sons of Soul album with the song Anniversary on it had just dropped. That whole album was bad. The whole album from start to finish was just bad. The production and everything was a step up from their prior projects. It was a level up. So I said, wow. And so she said, yeah, 3 months, and they don't know what they're going to do after that. So what happened was I passed. Having thought about all those other things, I passed. And at the time, I was comfortable with having passed because I was back in my little job at Tower Records. It wasn't a high-paying job, but it was a place that made me happy. I was content. I was happy. It wasn't no drama for me, or the drama that was there. You know, I was in control of what I was going to handle with that. So I decided to remain there for that time. I felt like I never had the attitude, well, oh man, I got to take this opportunity because it may not ever come around again. I may not ever have any other opportunities. No, I had pretty much made up my mind. When I do this again, if I ever go out on the road again, I will be in charge of everything. That was the decision I had made, and I made that decision and stood by that decision because I just don't like I don't like being, I don't like people having gainsay over me. I don't like people being in a position to drop me from a tour. Because I won't do the things they want me to do. I don't like being in that position. I like being in charge. All right. So I said I was not going to do that again as far as going out on the road on that kind of tour opportunity unless I was the one in charge of everything.
So Tonya passed on that and continued producing independent music. Meanwhile, it's 93. The Turkey Jam has happened, and I passed my tape off, and we talked about that on Monday. And in between time, I'm the DJ on the college campus of Cleveland State between 1990 and 96. A year later, opening up my own CD DVD store. But in between time, I produced a lot of music. I produced lots of music with various different acts, artists. And what I found is sometimes people can be disagreeable, but that doesn't mean that you can't come and still have, whoever owns the masters is the master, copyright, publishing, all that is taken care of. All people have to do is do their thing. And you come up and you have, so yesterday we showed you the day before we played the up-tempo stuff, but we have slow tempo stuff that we produce. You can hear on Apple Music or your favorite music provider, and it goes like this.
The place I was born, the way I was raised, the way I get paid, American made. From running from cops and ducking from strays, getting high all day, American made. We mourn the dead, but God we praise. Afraid of AIDS, American made. 12 gauge degrees. If you ain't in the cage and you a rat in the maze, American made. It's like clockwork. I wake up early morning to a page, round the corner from my house, down the street from my grave. At an early age, the block is like a black hole, sucking us in and keeping our soul, making us cold. I'm buying double up before I know. I'm getting ounces from the nigga next door who told me how to cut it, showed me how to cook it, told me where to put it, where the police wouldn't look for it. And all I wanna do is live like this king, trying to see the light past all these shiny things. Young niggas 14, already packing tools, man.
Pause that for a minute. Now, you hear that instrumentation in there, right? You say it sounds like it's a band playing these various instruments, but that's just one person on the production, and I was using a Boss DR5. A Boss DR5, and I mean a right? Then the bass line, boom, boom, boom. See, I love bass. I love the bass and the drum, the rhythm section kicking together. That's my thing, right? And so I make music sound like it's playing. I like this Euro hop that's going on. Kraftwerk's been since 1970, and the main leader of Kraftwerk passed a couple of months back. We need to be working on bringing the sound to more of a played sound again. But to each their own. But I'm just saying, for me, the Euro pop or the Euro hop is cool, but I like the more warm rhythm section. You know what I mean?
Street knowledge, he ain't never been to school, and I'm knowing cash rules everything around me. With dealers and hustlers and G's and things surround me until it found me in the middle of a rock and hard spot, getting robbed with a Glock to my knot. Now on my block, we gotta watch for these jackers and these cops who ain't nothing but crackers. They got me stressing. The cope, I copped the Smith and Wesson and learned my nigga was smoked out. That was a hard lesson.
Now when you listen to Sean Styles' lyrics, I have to give him credit because he spins a narrative and he spins a tale and he talks about his experiences, right? Could be embellished somewhat, but he spins a narrative and it's American made, KKK, American made. It's what they made us to try to destroy us, and that's what's in the music, right? This is what we talk about in the music that I produce. It's not going to be all the way in your face, but it's going to tell you the story and get it through. And when you listen to what he's saying, I mean, he's putting it down, laying on the track, just beautiful. Let's keep listening here. So while Tonya is over there, she's at Berkeley and she's working and she's producing independent music in Cleveland between 1990 and 96. Crazy D is in the studio and putting out projects, DJing parties. We talked about that the other day. Here we go.
I was born, the way I was raised, the way I get paid, American made. From running from cops and ducking from strays, getting high all day, American made. We mourn the dead, but God we praise. Afraid of AIDS, American made. 12 gauge degrees. If you ain't in the cage, then you the rat in the maze. American made. It got me stressing.
It's Crazy D's music up here in Warrensville. That Warrensville Harvard hook up on the block. What's going on? Taking over, baby. Taking over. Crazy D. You know, it's not about what hood you stay in, what kind of car you drive, and what kind of clothes you wear. But when you're a hard baller, you got those things anyway. 100 spokes and Versace ain't shit to me. Daddy B's, Esquire.
My niggas on the right side of me, left side of me, front and back of me, be stacking G's. If you ain't never hard hustle, then started the flossing with the rolling up the street with the ball and you don't know this shit. Hoes running to your car cause you're a ghetto star. This might make you wanna hate on the shit, act shit, be shit. Cause the shit don't happen for you or your new crew. But don't hate on me or my dudes. Cause you don't have gold chains with medallions proclaiming who you are. And you use other famous vehicles to try to make you come up to par. But vehicles, clothes, and hoes, houses, and state, and real estate, done with hustle. These things you can't fake. What's yours, nigga? What's yours? Beaches and shores, you rent to see sisters shake and act like whores. Once more, no more. You know the score. It's hard balling. If you ain't don't knowing, it's hard balling.
It's very important in production to distinguish yourself away from other people. So you hear that, but you don't hear a hi-hat hit. You hear a hip-hop snare hit. That gives you the difference between it being Midwest and being South, right? So as you're listening to the construction, you're listening to a hi-hat. You listen to the hi-hat going, but it's not hi-hat going. You hear the snare drum go, like hip-hop, like boom bap. That's how you know the difference between Midwest production, and which I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and Southern production.
With hoes who stacked up, but when them got me feeling feeling like a $2 club. The way she move her ass and those hip huggers like jam and jelly. She make a nigga want smoke us. I'm about to rush her. The one who wearing down the can and her hair and nails done. Plus she been staring since I stepped inside. She done met eyes, pointed at the door, told her meet me at the ride. Set up on the hood, asked her was she no good. She bouncing that ass just like I hope she would. I like the way you shake that. Them niggas say that. They would've ate that. They would've caked that. She grinding on the nigga, I'm caressing the figure and put the motherfucking rubber on before I did.
Reach for the sky, reach for the flow. My niggas, where you at? Everybody represent, yell loud, shake that.
Bend them hoes to the floor. Real niggas get the bag. Real niggas represent. Make them hoes shake that.
Burn a hole in the road with fingers in the air just like a gather to the left and then the right. Yell loud, shake that.
John Styles in the back. Nigga skills where you at. Grab the motherfucking mic and make these hoes shake that.
I think I'm going crazy again, but what if I snap and grab that damn 380 again? I'm in a trap, but I got my mind made up in this bitch. If you can't feel me, you can't heal me. Just don't beat up this clip and jealous hoes up in this game. You don't mean nothing to me. Since you can't suck my politics, said out of eighth over G. I'm on a mission and your business ain't about to stop progress. I can't sweat you, I'ma wet you. Use your ass as a hostage. Thought I got my point across. Busters out here don't recognize. And having you on my mind is for them tactics I exercise. Like jacking you for them D's that you shouldn't have been sitting on. Or getting you for them switches that you shouldn't have been hitting on. You lie straight to your bitch face like that shit.
Now, when I produce tracks, when I bring in MCs, this song is called Straight from the J, right? So when I bring MCs in, I look for them to tell the authentic story of what Cleveland, Ohio is like. So when you listen to the words, when you listen to the vocals on this track, and then when you hear it in a car, I mean, it's just going bananas with the low end. Matter of fact, it might kill your 808s with the low tones that it goes in. It might just shut them down for a minute. You might have a natural kill switch there, right? So when you listen to this, you know, that's Menace. Tonya, remember Menace?
Oh yeah.
That's Menace.
Yeah.
And then in the middle is Sean Styles, and at the end is Double OG, and Double OG, still one of the great I've ever recorded, one of the greatest MCs I've ever recorded. I mean, he just goes like 32 bars straight, no breath, and he just delivers on this track. And this track gives the information, like Chuck D said, that hip-hop is like the CNN of black folks. And so when you want to know what's going on in a city, you listen to the music that comes from there. A lot of times people don't get to hear the music that comes from Cleveland, Ohio, so they kind of get lulled to sleep a little bit. But if they just listen, then they would hear. Okay, here we go.
Don't be finding at me, I said, shut the fuck up, but your trick ass ain't understand me. The outcome of the scene, watch your face, you just take the heat and peel off on your face while wiping blood off your fucking seat. I never feel remorse because the shit is so sick and deep. Boss ain't cocaine off in this dick, I don't feel my heart beat. This black rain, nigga, rain on y'all.
What? Nigga, we come to start shit. Twist up something, you got me spark shit. We keep it pumping like some artificial hard shit. Some of that hard shit, pure uncut narc shit. Getting the money, don't give a fuck if it's more shit. Trying to park shit like a photo, 4x4. Equipped with fofos, for my fucking foes. Smoking octomos, dumping ashes on the hose. Kicking flows, you can't sleep on like no doors. Fuck the pose, you better duck for I bruise ya. Equipped with shit to strip it like some off your cruiser. With the infrared beam, I'm trying to do ya. In the silencer, you won't hear the booyah. Bringing it to ya. Sean Styles, the one and only. Better that me, nigga. Give me respect like you owe me. And if you think I'm a hoe, then motherfucking show me. Or back up off me, cause you ain't got nothing on me.
Double OG, UTI, NCI, Southeast. Heavenly Father, I'm pleading with the judge, but he won't budge. Ain't no love, cause I got the blood of a black thug. Drug many niggas down the back road. Used to jack holes, hit the block to get my crack sold. In my Mac mode, yeah, I really got a thrill off of pulling pipes. I didn't give a fuck who I stuck to get the money right. What a rush, quick to bust a nut off a homicide. Will I die? Thought the phone is water got me traumatized. Mama cried because the judge had a place for me. But killers and rapists be 7 to 20's what I'm facing, G. My baby girl gotta grow up in this crazy world. And it's a shame, doing dirt was all that made me thorough. Addicted to the fast pace, rolling half cakes, making mass pays. Money hungry bitches make my ass ache. Life's a bitch, I know I should quit and hang up my shoes. But yo, I'd rather die billing in my prison blues. Feel me? I'm making it happen and thinking suicide is do or die. Cause Popo was watching me and they soon to ride. I'm getting high and going for a lick. Shot him in his face, went in the safe and bought the quarter brick. Tearing up a real case, crazy motherfucker in my kill face. I don't give a fuck about your life, I need my bills paid real fast. Nigga had the cash, let my steel blast. Feeling split, ain't no coming back or running, telling shit. Punk bitch, he was a sucker, so I left him good. Cause yo, it's all about the drama in my wicked hood. I wish you would come up on Harvard like you real with this. Straight up young niggas with triggers that love to kill you, bitch. Staring at the world with my eyes closed, wear a blindfold. How much more corrupted evil will my mind hold? Before I go insane, do I have hope? I can't cope, all I'm nothing for is murder, mo, and mass dope.
Coming in second to none, I shouldn't have did what I done, got her dizzy. I shouldn't have did what I done, got her dizzy and sprung. Coming in second, coming in second to none. I shouldn't have did what I done, got her dizzy and sprung. I met her on the late night, getting high, watching little niggas play fight. On the ground, she walked by and said hi, smiling and staring. I walked up to her from the side, grabbed her ass, not caring. Since I liked what she was wearing, it was something down to Karen. She smoked weed when she asked me was I sharing this my niggas errands, but I got a little something, man. You can choke and chill till your girl get the frontin'. She spend the night over her cousins, who is player hating, say I fuck hoes by the dozen. Never said that I wasn't, but I only like to kick it, conversate and get twisted. Can you get with it? Toss it up and I'ma hit it. Ain't no questions asked. She looked at me and shook her head, then she laughed. Your cousin's mad cause she ain't my type. She used to be all on me, now she act like she don't like me. That might be, but I was clapping at night. And if you scared of the dark, I can take you to the light. When I spark this flame, introduce her to this gang. Wanna be my man, wanna be my everything. What? I met her when she was young, it didn't take much to get her sprung. Wrapped around my tongue, do one thing she never done. Off of fun, a hit and run. I got these hoes playing dumb, huh? You wanna be my number one? Fantasize on them lies, hypnotize with my eyes, with the kiss that make me cry. Let me hit one more time off of fun, a hit and run. I got these hoes playing dumb, huh? You wanna be my number one?
Now, what's interesting about that track is I'm cutting on that track, but I used that first Pioneer set that came out that you used the crossfader to start out the CDs. So when you're hearing it, it's saying coming in second to none, right? And that's from off of the previous album that Sean Styles was on. I cut his voice, right? So and that's interesting. And in that track right there, he delivers a 3-verse narrative, which is story rhymes. I'm big on story rhymes. MCs who can kick story rhymes, it keeps your interest and it keeps you rolling in the car. And that's what we were doing at that time. Ask me how I know that these songs work.
How do you know that those songs work?
It's something that Von Mason, I got the last interview with Von Mason. He came to Las Vegas, and I got the last interview with Von Mason before he died. There's a formula to making music. Now, you're going to be original with what you do, but there's a formula to it. And me, I use a certain formula. Like myself, I don't read music, but I know how to count measures and bars. And I counted out measures and bars and how I wanted things to come in on the third and fourth bar to make them seem like they're playing, etc., etc. So, but Von Mason in the interview, from the questions that I asked him, he was able to bring this out to the people. if you want to know how to make hit records, you have to talk to people who have done it before. And when I listened to what he said, I said, hey, I was thinking like that, but I didn't know. There was no one to tell me. So here's Von Mason. Make sure you smash the like, share button, let people know, and make sure you go over to Apple Music or your favorite music provider and download those songs. Right? So look, Von Mason. Here we go. Let's see what Von Mason has to say about how to make a hit record. You want to know how to do something? Listen to people who have done it, who continue to do it, who are in it, who have made it happen, who continue to make it happen. Here we go. Rest in peace, Von Mason.
He could play by ear, but he was a musician in the sense that if somebody tried to play some chords or whatever, a bass line, he was proficient enough to be able to, okay, I've heard this routine before.
He's speaking of James Brown, just to let you have context of what, because we pick up in the middle of the interview here, but he's speaking of James Brown and his ability to be able to use the rule of fifths. Here we go.
I know if he's starting here, there's only two places this guy can go from there. I don't know any of that. So they know it's a circle of fifths, but he knew that. So from that standpoint, he was a musician, but not that he reads. A lot of guys don't read.
So did you program like the drum patterns and all that?
None of that. MIDI, musical instrument digital interface. That's what MIDI stands for. None of that existed. If the drummer didn't show up, if the bass player didn't show up, if the keyboard player did not show up, there was no session. I mean, you're just sitting there clapping your hands. I mean, the clap track was, we did 4 tracks of claps with 4 people, and that's what, when you hear Bounce, Rock, Skate, Roll, that's what you hear when it gets to the hook. Why did I clap the hands on the hook and not the verse? Because Chic didn't clap their hands on Good Times. If you take Good Times and line it up with Bounce, Rock, Skate, Roll, it's gonna move the same way. That was the formula. What the formula was take a hit record. How did I know it's a hit record? Because I went to Billboard magazine in 1979 and looked at every chart, and I was looking for a song that was in the top 10 of the Hot 100. Radio play, club play, 12-inch dance sales, which they don't have that anymore because they don't sell 12-inch dance records anymore, and club play. And Good Times was across the board in the top 10. So I said, okay, that's the song. I'm glad I like the song. I'm gonna take it apart. I'm gonna ask you a question I ask everybody. If I go dun 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 dun, what's the next line?
Dun 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 dun.
Fine. Okay. A reasonable amount of number of times, don't say a million please, that you've heard the song, whoop, there it is. How many times have you heard that record?
Oh, countless.
Well, just give me a number.
Let's say hundreds of times.
Hundreds of times. I'm going to do the hook, you do the first verse. Whoop, there. Excuse me. I'm going to do the hook, you're going to do the first verse. When I point to you, that's your cue. Whoop, there it is, first verse. Whoop, there it is, first verse. He don't know it. Whoop, there it is, first verse. And you've heard it hundreds of times. And this is my point. I'll get guys in the recording studio that'll be like, oh, wait a minute, Vaughn. I got to write some heavy lyrics. No, mofo, you don't. This guy just said he heard a song hundreds of times, and you think because it's your song, it's so damn important. Ain't nobody gives a shit. All they remember is whoop, there it is.
All they remember is the hook.
But check this out. Look at it. Here's the mathematical formula. There's more to it. Bounce, rock, skate, roll was my hook. I did it by accident. Dun, 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 4 notes. Whoop, there it is, 4 notes. It's the most powerful set of notes you can have in music. And I did it by accident. Bounce, rock, skate, roll is the string line hit from Good Times. Good am. Both times. Are you safe, or whatever the heck they say. So I went, I can't go good times, so I took the string line. It's a mathematical formula. E equals MC squared. Don't question it, just apply it. And that's what people don't do when they hit the studio. I gotta be creative. No, yeah, a little bit. You gotta get creative with the melody and whatever you're singing or rapping about. But other than that, you want a song that as soon as a DJ, unless you got, well, we're not on radio now, right? This isn't radio, right? Okay. Unless you got money to pay somebody to play your fucking record, you want the DJs to break it. And when a DJ is in a club playing a song, and I'm going to ask you, when you have a DJ playing in a club and the dance floor is ass to elbow with people dancing, tell me what he's doing. While that's happening, what's he doing in the DJ booth?
Oh, he's figuring out the next records that's going to keep the floor ass to elbow.
Thank you. And most people don't get it. So what? Now I give him one of my songs that has no feel of any song that's happening on the charts, in the clubs, or whatever. You have to do your homework. When I go to a club, I'm looking at, oh, he put that record on and Jesus Christ, the dance floor got ass to elbow. He put this other song on and it didn't. I don't want that song. But I go to Billboard magazine, it'll tell you what to play. Anyway, that said, you're absolutely correct. So why am I going to give you a record that, how can he mix this in? A DJ is working. He's trying to find tools that he can play and make the dance floor stay packed. The last thing a DJ wants to see is the floor not to get ass to elbow. So why are you going to give him some creative crap that has nothing to do with, that's musical? Nobody gives a shit about music. Whoop, there it is. You've heard it 100 times. You couldn't tell me what the next line is. But if you played that groove, so let's take that song. Whoop, whatever that groove is to whoop, there it is, you can't copyright that beat or the feel of that. You can't copyright whatever, if it goes bop, boop, boop, bop. I mean, come on, that's freestyle music all day long. Cynthia and Lisa had that same that.
You can't stop the music too. I mean,
right.
Can't stop the music. Right.
But I locked in when I did bounce, rock, skate, roll. The drummer, there was no MIDI. There was no electronics. The drummer actually played to hearing Good Times in his headphones, because that's the first thing I did on the 2-inch 24-track tape, was on track 23 and 24, left and right, I recorded Good Times by Chic, the long version, and that's what he was fed through the headphones, and he sat there, and I wanted isolation. So as a recording engineer, I did not want him playing a drum set. I wanted control of just that snare drum. So the first thing he did was sit there and just, Good Times, he just sat there and pounded on the snare drum for 5 minutes and however long. I took the snare drum away because I didn't want that ringing. I put the bass drum in front of it. Good Times. These are the, and he sat there and kicked that bass drum for 5 minutes and however long. Then he came back and played the 8th note hi-hat. He played that through the whole song.
So you were basically, because they didn't have samplers at the time, or they were just getting ready to come out.
No, it was a long time.
Long time. But you were basically sampling.
I was. That's all. Yes. That's all a tape recorder is. It's a sample. But I wanted isolation and control of each sound, each
individual
or sample,
sound,
so that when you're mixing it, if I wanted the snare drum a certain way, that's why I used a keyboard bass. I set that keyboard up to play the bass line, because if you have a bass guitarist, it's a human being. They're not going to strike that bass note with the same intensity every time. I set the attack on the keyboard to, you touch it soft or hard, it was going to go no matter how soft or hard that he touched it. And I gave him, this is the bass line. And I had mapped out every time Good Times changed. Like if they went to drums for 16 measures and then they did a cymbal crash, we went 16 measures and then there was a cymbal crash. Or if they went 16 measures, go on.
No, go ahead.
If they went 16 measures and the verse came in, because they started with the hook. When the hook ended, there was a hook bass line. That was that dunk, 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 doom, 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 doom. That was just repeated. So what I did was every time, that was the hook bass line. Then during the verse, they went doom, 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 doom. Whatever they did there, that was bass line number 2. So I got on a piece of paper, and between the 2 hashtags was a line, and from here to here was 8 measures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 8. Then 6.
So you count
9,
measures
6.
and bars.
I charted it out. I don't write music, but I can write time, when things came in, when things go out, and I'll do that to this day. Why am I trying to reinvent the wheel?
So speaking, let's apply that to music today.
So if you want to know how to go about doing something, you speak to people who have done it, people who are doing it, people who continue to do it, who make it happen, right? Again, rest in peace, Von Mason. At that point when he was like, go ahead, I was like, my mouth dropped open because I said, I used to do that. I didn't pick a record and try to copy it, but I used to count the measures and bars out, and I would have sheets up to know how I wanted to play when I created the melodies and everything, right? And so it was just amazing to hear it, because many times in Cleveland you didn't have people who you could talk to who had actually done it. So once you get to a certain level, that's why we bring it to you now, so that you can have it, so you can reference it. That's what I do. My interviews aren't BS. I'm asking questions because we want people to know. So here's another artist who does it, who has done it, and this is Coolio. Let's see what Coolio has to say about music production.
Just try to take it in stride, try not to let it overwhelm you or let it become something that you're vain about or nothing like that. So I just live it, man. I live it, and I try to be humble all the time.
So when you're in the studio, I want to ask a successful artist that has done it. You traveled all over the world with your music, bro. When you're in the studio and you hear the beat, do you know that it's a hit?
No.
Or okay, so what makes you know?
I used to think that I knew, but with the way stuff be happening, man, you be hearing a lot of stuff. You like, that's some bullshit, but it ends up being a hit. So that's how it is, man. It just it works out the way it works out. You really have no control over that.
So you never really know, but it's when the people hear it.
Maybe like, you know what, I knew Fantastic Voice was gonna be a hit. Man, I knew that, but not because I knew, because everybody else knew. I didn't really like it. I thought it was corny.
Did you want to do, because you did a purposeful party style of music, did you want to do something initially hardcore at first?
Nah, man, I was trying to go for something different, man, because I'm a different kind of person, man. I'm only hardcore in extreme situations, man. I'd rather shake hands, man. I'd rather be friends with people and be. It's easier to be cool, man, than it is to be an asshole. So I never went for that. I never went for the trying to be hard roll all the time. And I try to educate, man. I try to educate, and I knew I had an opportunity to be heard by millions of people, or hundreds of thousands, whatever it was going to be. I felt that it was would be beneath me to do some bullshit.
How do you? So that's Coolio, right? Laying out his experience in the studio and what a hit was to him and was not. Now, the next person up is G-Thing, comedian. Timing to me is everything. Timing is in boxing, timing is in dancing, timing is in hip hop, and to me, interviewing a comedian is just as important as interviewing a boxer, a singer, a rapper, because their timing is everything. So let's listen to what G-Thing has to say. A person is out there making it happen and do it. If you want to know how to do something,
you gauge
between the black and white audience to make your jokes universal. Like you talked tonight about situations with white folks and they laugh. How do you gauge that?
Well, you know, me personally, it ain't even about what I'm saying. Now they ain't got out of what I'm saying and they ain't bought into my personality. See, I ain't selling jokes. I'm selling personality. When you go see Bernie, when you went to go see Bernie, when you go see Cedric, when you go see Mike Epps or Kevin Hart, you buy into the personality. You buy into the small man. You buy into the Martins. You buy into the personality. You never buy the jokes. And sometimes these niggas don't even remember what I said anyway. But they said he was funny and they love the personality. So what I do is I sell them G first. And once they all bored on G, then they'll buy whatever I sell them. And whatever I come out my mouth, white people buy it, Mexican people buy it, Jews, Gentiles, Protestants, and Catholics. We're standing all. I've been drinking a little bit, so I'm sorry, America. I'm sorry. But I've been on stage for almost an hour, and I had to have a little juice. Juice. Yeah.
When you're the headliner, how do you gauge how long you're going to stay out? Usually a headliner gets
45 an hour. You know, I learned this from Steve Harvey. Steve said, if a comic can't do an hour, he ain't no real comic.
Shit has got to stop, nigga. I don't know how black people stay out here in Vegas with this goddamn heat, nigga. The devil live out here. Shit, this hot, nigga. This is that, nigga. Kill yourself. There shouldn't be no fat people out here in Vegas, nigga. So when you walk outside, you lost 35 pounds, nigga. You walk to your car, you sweating like a motherfucking church dude. Shit, this motherfucker, I'm overdressed to be in this little bitch right here. I got this at Express, nigga. Yes. Yeah, nigga, I got this off the mannequin, nigga.
You know, and you got to be able to go up there and entertain the people, and that they feel that they worth getting the show. When people don't leave. When you don't see people walking out the audience, they got a show. When they gauge it, see, a lot of comics ain't as fast as me. See, I'm a fast-paced comic, so I'm shooting.
Man, I don't give a fuck, nigga. Vegas, I don't know shit. You niggas should relocate. I got this dark skin today, nigga. I want this. I was saying to Chris Brown, nigga. I swear to God. I was not this dark, nigga. I walked, nigga, I'm getting darker, nigga.
So for an hour, I'm not stopping. But it's a lot of comics that are separate and they'll tell a story, and that story will go for about 20 minutes and then punchline. And then you got some comics that'll do, you know, segues. They got a subject, middle, and the end. Me, you just get it all. Blah, blah, I ain't letting up till it's done. And then I'll tell a little notes, shake some hands, kiss a baby, and I'm out.
Okay, so this right here that's playing right now, I have to play it low so not to get the copyright clip. But this is So Glad I'm Saved, right? Right there you see B. Tim's there. See, the reason why I'm playing this is the 1 year anniversary of this coming out. I shot the portion with B. Tim's in Las Vegas, right? And Canton Jones shot and had his portion shot in Atlanta. Canton Jones wanted B. Tim's on there using the vocalator. So they recorded the track in Atlanta, but B. Tim's couldn't get back to Atlanta to film. So they called on me to come in and shoot B. Tim's part, right? So when you say that you are what you say you are, you have to be ready to deliver. So I talked to Canton Jones on the phone and said, give me the specs, all that. Went there, shot it, and then when you see it, it's seamless. Plus I did this white background effect on B. Tim's in the video, right? So this is October 31st, it debuted. It has over 171,084 views right now and growing. And you know, I'm just happy it's something international gospel artist. We put this together. Doug Williams is on it. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful track. So it's So Glad I'm Saved. 1 year anniversary. Crazy D, and then we need you to keep on watching this so I can keep on getting my royalties, because you know YouTube, when you watch stuff, it gives royalties. I need my piece. So if you keep on going over there and you watch it, and you can see the work that Crazy D put in, you know, and the edits that they did, because they edited it there in Atlanta, and the editing they did to cut in the parts, and you can see that it is seamless. That's my shots of the vocoder, right? I call it vocalator, but it's a vocoder. And also the scenes where he's in this white background with the clouds that I did. So go watch the video. I'm very, you know, proud of that, of being able to go long distance and create something like I've always done, right? But it was like, we need this quick, and I was able to get it together quick, lay it out professionally. It looked good, and it's in video in perpetuity. So Glad I'm Saved. Doug Williams, Canton Jones, B. Timms, and an MC named CSG, I believe. Right? Beautiful song. So Glad I'm Saved. Yeah. So, as we move from production into producing movies, that's probably going to be part 4, Possibilities and Probabilities. We talked about Disagreeable People. Learning about Disagreeable People gets you ready for the next steps in your life, and that's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. We're giving a roadmap. What do you got to say about all of it so far? We've got 3 minutes. You got 1:50.
For those of you who are contemplating or who are already in the midst of being in pursuit of a music career, film career, anything having to do with the entertainment industry, there's something you have to have in your arsenal in order to make sure that you are not a casualty in this situation, and that you're always on top and your dream does not become a nightmare on Elm Street. Okay. So we are giving you the information, and we're prayerful that you're ingesting it and going to implement it. We want to see you be a success.
Yeah. We want to see that you are a success. Listen, people. We are more than proud to bring this to you, right? Bring you this information, disseminate this information to you. This has been part 3 of Possibilities and Probabilities, Observations, TFR episode 46, Disagreeable People. You know, all throughout the time that I was doing production and moving through, I met up with disagreeable people. I once came from pushing carts at Finest, and I was using my Finest check to finance this rap group. I get over to their house. Oh, they're staying with their parents. I'm over their house, and there's their girlfriends over there, and my shoes were scuffed from doing carts, and their girlfriends talking about, look at his shoes. He ain't no producer. Now, these dudes been knowing me for years. We've been in the studio. But yet, they girls are saying that. I said, I got to drop these niggas. And I dropped them. I mean, it goes on like that. Disagreeable people. And then I had one group of people say, hey, they wanted me to give up the Masters. I said, I'm not giving up the Masters. We talked about that. And he said, well, we'll see you at the Grammys. I saw him years later. I said, dang, Beetlejuice. Wow. It's just all messed up, right? So, I mean, it's a million stories like that, but you keep on trucking. I have to appear, or my sister has to appear as the Disagreeable Band-Mate, when in actuality, whoever has the equipment, has the ability to produce, anyone who has the lights, camera, writes the action, and can shoot and edit down music, all that, is the most important person in the room, even if they don't act like such. Because everybody needs to be working together as a team. That's what people didn't realize, right? But that's Disagreeable People. And they be doing what they're doing, and we keep doing what we're doing. So people, this has been another great episode of #Observations TFR episode 46. Tomorrow, episode 47, part 4 of Possibilities and Probabilities. What is the probability and the possibilities that you will be successful if you know this information? Very high indeed. We will see you tomorrow.
Here's the thing about your movie, why I made a curator's pick of the Hollywood Fringe Festival. Community, heart.
Crazy.